Hello, welcome. In this video, I am going to introduce you to our asset register system, and this is a system which is used in keeping record of all the assets in the company, the business, the organization, with their current status and showing who is assigned to which asset. So welcome, let us go through it together. First thing, you log in. Once you log in, there is the list of all the functionalities which are available in the software. There is a dashboard. This shows the current status of the database or the records which are there. You can see the total number of assets, the active assets, pending approvals. Then there is the quick actions menu. This is instead of going to the mother menu, you can quickly access it from here. You can add a new asset, create a user, review approvals, or even upload. Do a bulk upload if you have a list of currently existing items which are not in the system. So the first thing we shall go through creation of an asset. That one is done through from this menu, the menu for assets. You can see it has several other functionalities. So first we start with creation of a new asset. You click on create asset and it will open this form. In this form, you enter the asset name. Maybe it is a printer. You give the date of purchase. You can say maybe it was purchased on 4th. For the companies with the mini number of staff, you select the person who is assigned that printer. Then you select the status of the printer. It is active. Under maintenance, these are the ones which are under repair. In storage, these are the ones which are newly purchased but not yet assigned to anybody. So in this case, you select active. Then give the serial number of the printer. You give the location for the companies or the businesses with several branches. You select the domicile branch for that asset. So in this case, you take South Branch Business District. Then you select the department of the user who is assigned the asset, or in other ones where the asset will be sitting, it will be in use by which department. So in this case, you take operations. Then there is the field for additional remark. You can say this is a new printer. Then we click on create asset. Once you've clicked on create asset, a new record is inserted in the database, this kind of summary. And in this software, we've implemented make and checker, whereby one person creates the record, another person with the supervisory privileges or rights in the company needs to approve. So in this case, we need to log in with another user so that now we can have that item, that asset authorized in the system. Once you log in, you come to the same menu for the assets. Then you come to the part for approval. There's a menu written approvals. You click on asset approval. You shall find the record which we recently created. There's option of reject. There's the option of view, and there's the option of approve. We approve. Once you've approved, the system will give you a message that asset printer has been approved, and it will show you there is no other pending records. That asset has been added in the asset register of the company, and there is a report. which shows the list of all the existing assets. And for you to access the report, there is a menu for reports. Click on it. For now, you've created only two sets of report. There's the users report. These are the people allowed to log into the software. And then there is the asset register. So in this case, we are interested with the asset register, which now should show us all the items which are there. We need to select the date range for the period in which you are generating the report for. So you can take that to phase. Here you are asked to select if you are generating the report for a specific staff or all of them. And also you are asked to select if the status of the asset you want to appear in the report. Then there is a selection for the branches and the departments. You leave it as it is. You click on apply filters. Once you do that, you'll be shown a summary of the items which are existing as per the purchase date we selected. The printer you created, you can see it here. It is assigned to a user called Alex, the Department of Operations, and the remarks is a new printer. If you want to export this report, yes, there are three buttons here for exporting the report. You can either copy the details as they are or export it as an Excel report, a CSV, PDF, or even print directly. So in this case, you can just say export an Excel, which will generate a file here. And now when you open the report, the Excel file, you shall see the details of the items which are existing as per the date input or the date selection done. You can see the asset we created, it's here. There are the other options, there is the CSV, there is the PDF, all of them presenting the same kind of information. Then we go to the other option and assets management. If you have a long list of existing items which are not current in the system, there is an option for bulk upload. Bulk upload is that you create a template in the format which is consumable by the system, then you upload the file. Right now I have some sample list of items. You click on browse, uh, then you pick the template, then you upload. Oh, this one is already existing, so we need to modify it a little bit because the system is validating the integrity of the upload file. So we need to edit it, change a few details so that it will become uploadable, or it will become the system will see that it as a new record. We modify the serial number, so you can change the purchase date. The rest you can keep it as it is because it is possible for it to exist more than the other details. Is possible to have them existing more than once, but the serial number and the file name needs to be distinct. So we save this, then come back to the software and try to do a bulk upload. we pick the file from the downloads or any other location. You click on upload asset. You can see our upload is successful. Upload completed, one asset imported successfully and pending approval. As I mentioned, each and every task in the software is a make and checker. This is for data integrity and security in the system, whereby no one person can do all the activities at once. We log in with another user. Once logged in, you come back to the same menu for assets, but now you go for approvals. There's a bulk approval. There's a bulk approved approval menu. Click on it. You shall find our record there pending approval. There is the option of approving, rejecting, even viewing the details. Just click on approve, and the item now is important in the asset register. If you check here, if you come to the reports asset register, there is the new item we uploaded just now. Is the last item on the list. This one. And if you generate the report, of course it will come in the report. Then for scenarios whereby now you need to transfer the asset from one user to another or from one branch to another, there's an option of transfer assets. This will show you the list of the existing assets in the system. And if you want to change the asset from one user to another, you need to do a transfer. From one branch to another, you need also to do a transfer. Or from one department to another, you need to do a transfer. So in this case, let us transfer this MacBook uh, from the current location, which is shown here, to a different place. So we shall transfer it from staff Emily to, we can transfer it from Emily to Tito. Then you can change the department. Currently it is in finance, you take it to operations. And also you can change the branch. Currently it is in head office, take it to East branch. And for remark, you can just give a comment. This is a transfer. Once you fill all these details, you submit, click on submit transfer requests. The request will be queued awaiting approval. And the message will be clear that the transfer request submitted for approval. So we need to log in with the other user so that we can approve that. Otherwise, it will remain pending until when it will be actioned. Under transfers, there is a menu for transfer approval. If you click on that, it will show you the pending request for transfer with the details of where it is coming from and where it is going. You can either reject it or approve it. In this case, we approve it, and the item now has moved from its current location, current user, to a different user. And finally, now there is the end of life for the assets in the company or in the business. This is asset disposal. Here, if you click on asset disposal, it will show you a list of all the items with their current statuses. And the effect of disposal is that the item is like being sold or given out. And the impact is that the list of the items will decrease by that one item or the many items which have been disposed. So in this case, let us dispose this monitor number 12. You click on dispose. It will open a form for you. It will ask you to fill details. Just give a comment, disposal at the end of the year or something of the sort. The details is as per the current status of the item. and there is a message that you need to send it for approval. You submit for disposal. It creates a new record. Then you log in with a different user for the authorization. There is a menu for disposal approval. You approve this. We need to use the other user. As I mentioned, there is a enforced make and check logic whereby one record cannot be processed fully by one person. Once you've logged in the different user, the message is disposal has been approved and assets moved from inventory. If you go to the asset register, that one item has been reduced, meaning that it has been disposed of the company. That's the journey, or that's the management of the assets. And there is the administration part. This is for the users or the people allowed to access the software. Here you can create a user, approve an user, give rights, so as now to allow the user be able to access the software. So you shall just create one user. Just create one user, give the name of the user. This user, select the department of the user. You can just sign his in sales. Then you give the login. This is the user ID. Then you create a temporal first time login password. You click on create user. Once you click on create user, a new record is generated, which requires another user to log in and approve it. You come to the menu for administration, then there is user approval. You find the record there, you pass it, and the system will give you a message that user team John has been approved. So if you come to the report of users report, you shall see there is a new user called Team John. Then once you've created a new user, you need to assign that user menu rights or the privileges he or she has in the system. You come to the administration, you select assign user rights, you pick the user. Once you pick the user, the software will load the available menus, which you need to tick according to the work to be done by this kind of user. So in this case, we shall just assign him the dashboard, the main menu, create user, create asset. Also, you can assign him transfer asset and asset list. Also, you can assign him the reports, and he needs to be able to see his profile and be able to change the password. Once you're done with selecting the desired menu rights, you click on assign rights. it will go for approval. So we need to log in with a different user and assign and authorize that change. That one will come and writes approval. If you come and writes approval, it will show you the user and the rights the user has been assigned, the date and who assigned the rights. You can approve all of them. Once you approve all of them, it means the new user now has those rights and can access the software. So let us check what happens when now the new user logs into the system. Once he logs in the first time, the system will enforce a mandatory change of password because the other one was assigned by the admin. So he or she needs to create a password which is only known to him or her. This is for security purpose. So we set a new password, and once we set a new password, it will give a message that password has been changed successfully and the user is logged into the system and he can access the menus we assigned him. You can see here under the assets, we give him create assets and asset lists. We give him reports. There is the main menu, and there is the dashboard. In other words, the new user has been created with the rights we assigned him so that he can be able to do his job in the system. That was the part of administration. And in the administration also there is a users list. It shows the number of users in the system. And finally now, because you've done administration, assets and reports, there is a maintenance function. The main purpose for maintenance function is to take the backup of the database, which is a good practice whereby now there is a separate and a secured copy of the database which shows all the records or the status of the software at any time. So you click on this menu for maintenance, it will show you the functionality for taking the system backup. This is the database backup. We've activated a compression by default to make the file not take a lot of space. Here you need to confirm that there is no one using the system because it is not going to take the backup when some other postings are happening. So as to be sure that you are taking the full set of records, you tick this, then you click on start backup. The system is giving you a message that this process will create a compressed backup of the asset register database, and the backup will be saved to the configured server location. So in this case, the location for backups is here, local disk C. There is a folder called database backups, and once you create the backup, it will go to that folder. Also, you can schedule automatic backups, which will be running without the admin's intervention. In other words, there will be automated backups which happen on the set time. So let us take one backup. My connection is a little bit slow. Just a minute. So you click on Start Backup. The system will run the procedure of creating the database backup, and once it is done, it will give you a confirmation that the database backup completed successfully and the file is saved here in this location. This means that the database backup has been created and compressed into a zip file. This is now able to be moved from one location to another in a secure way. You can see the file here. It has been created at 10:45 and zipped. This is the system backup from the software. And in a nutshell, that is the journey, or that is the operation, or that is the working functionalities of our asset management software, and it's open to customization to customer needs and desires. Thank you.